Hello YouTube, my name's Kurt, and as a kid I was always into model trains, and I'm in my 20s now and I've recently got back into it. As you can see, there's this layout in the background of an N-scale layout I did when I was in middle school years ago, and I'm in the process of restoring it. But for now we'll take a look at this box of old HO scale trains. Let's see what we have here. First up, this one's actually part of a set that should all be in this box. It's a Pepsi boxcar, lifelike, and it's part of the Foodland Express train set, which was an anniversary train set made by Lifelike for a grocery store chain from, I'm not sure how far they reach, but at least the Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania general area, so we'll try to get that whole set here. We'll just keep going through the box as we go. We've got an Al's General Store HO scale building. Needs a bit touched up, but it's got some really cool decals on the side here. We've got a Pepsi Cola sign, Coca-Cola, Union Beer on the front, Redman Tobacco, Schlitz, looks like Canada Dry, Campbell's Soup there on the side, looks like a corner of it's cracked, but cool, nice old HO scale building. Moving along, we've got this coal mine piece here. Nice detail on it. I'm gonna assume Bachmann maybe. I'm not sure. If you know, leave a comment. Little junction station, switch station, whatever the proper term would be. Cool little piece. This one was always one of my favorites. Howard Johnson's Restaurant. If you look closely inside here, you can actually see there's some cool inside decals going on. You can see through the windows. This would be cool to put a light into or something. Needs a little bit of work. It's coming apart a little bit, but nothing little plastic cement or glue can't fix. And take a look at this car. It's a Frisco box car. This one's got some nice weight to it. I believe this might be a Bachmann. Let's see if we can read it here. Yep, Bachmann. I'm not sure how good it's coming through on the camera, but this is a Bachmann. Nice solid box car. I know a lot of people don't like Bachmann stuff, but even getting back into trains as I am with the N-scale stuff, I've always been a Bachmann fan. But I know there's probably better options out there, but I love the quality and just the feel of Bachmann trains. This is just a ceramic piece. Old Lifelike, the classic Lifelike transformer. Pretty sure I have a few of these. I'm pretty sure Lifelike put these in almost all of their train sets for at least maybe the late 90s into the 2000s or something like that. Little shack with a cool little Coca-Cola machine outside of it. So, some pieces to a water tower piece. I'm sure the roof's in here somewhere, but this one could use some work, needs some attention. Quite a bit of, I've got the old, I actually just found out recently at one of my local hobby shops I stopped at that he said that they didn't make the Lifelike Power Lock track anymore, and I've got quite a bit of this. I don't have all the HO scale stuff that I used to have, but at one point I had the Bachmann Easy Track in HO form, and some Model Power, the classic track. Some of that might be in here, and some Atlas track, but my parents always tended to get me the Lifelike Power Lock track at one point in time because it was easy to put together, and I'm sure getting it all cleaned up, this stuff would still work pretty well. We'll get some of this out of the way. Of a good bit of it in here. Tyco box. Mel Pouch Tobacco. Treat yourself to the best. Cold old Tyco box car. The box is in pretty rough shape, but the paint still looks really good on this particular car. It's got a nice shiny finish to it. Really cool old box car. This is probably one of the better HO scale engines, probably the best HO scale engine in my opinion from my use with HO scale trains. This Union Pacific. It's a Walthers. I think this was their line called the Walthers Train Line Series. Got beat up a bit over the years, missing some of the side rails, the guard rails, and some of them are popping out a little bit. Horns are broken off. Have to make a video testing some of these again, but I know this one used to work really smoothly. Missing the front coupler. Rear coupler looks good. I just remember this used to be a really nice locomotive to run. Whoops. Car carrier car. I think I'm missing a lot of the cars that went with this. They usually ended up in other places, but nice long train car is always cool. Watching this one go around the bends, so it always, you know, come over pretty far compared to a lot of the other cars. This is a Bachmann. We'll have to see if I can find some of the cars for this. Missing some of the guides on the ends to keep the cars from flying off when it's going around the track. So it could use some work, but cool car. Sunoco tank car, Sun Oil Company. It's got a weight on the bottom of it. I think this is a Tyco maybe? Let's see. Not sure. Oh wait, there's a name. Tyco. Yep. It's a Tyco. I don't know if that's focusing, but nice little Tyco car. The paint has seen better days. Not really sure if this was paint, but some kind of shiny plastic that's worn down over the years. I think this is probably an older car, but still in decent shape for what it is. Got a cool, I like the detail with the metal line going across it. Ah! It's okay. Dropped the Sunoco car, but it's all right. And we've got Sohio Chemical Company tank car. This was one of the first train sets I ever owned as a kid. It was the first train set, actually. I believe it was the first real electric train set. It was really cool double diesel model power Santa Fe set, which had a lot of pieces and stuff. Where I wish I still had that complete set, but I should still have all the cars and engines. But as far as a lot of the extra stuff it came with, it was one of them really big, like 70-piece sets that, you know, giving that to a, you know, however old I was, 5 or 6 years old, all them small pieces are bound to go missing. This one's got some cool detail on it. I really like the stuff on the sides of it. Nice, well-built car. Burlington Northern box car. I think this is a Tyco. Yep, there it is. Nice classic Tyco box car. Very similar feel to the mail pouch one that I pulled out, so this is probably the same time period. And it's also got that glossy paint finish, but this one's worn down a bit more, but cool old box car. Santa Fe Caboose. Not sure what brand this one might be. Not really seeing anything on the bottom here of it. This one's a mystery. If you know what... I just know I've had this thing around a long time. I think I got this at a train show at one point when I was younger. I think it might be missing a little smokestack or whatever would have been there. But cool, solid old box car. I really like how it's, or not a box car, caboose, Santa Fe. I really like how it's built though. It's got a nice feel to it. Got some of these old trestles and everything going on in here. I think I've got a set of these. Should be a whole set in here. These Amtrak light up coach cars. I believe these are Tyco. I think these might be pretty old. They light up, and if I remember right, they used to work pretty well, so we'll have to get a video of these in operation and see how they do. We'll have to set up a track. The only layout I have is N scale, but we'll be able to set up some HO stuff and make a video trying to get some of this stuff to work. These are a nice, well-built car. They feel good. They look cool. You know, you can see the people inside of these, and when they light up and you have the lights out, it's pretty cool from what I remember. But like I said, there should be a full set of these in there. Maybe not a full set, but I just know I've got quite a few of them. Here's the observation car, Baltimore and Ohio on this one. End of the train. Got a little guy in there. Same deal on all these. Light up, or not a powered car, but an accessory car, if you will, I guess. Just have active lights in them when you go over the track. B&O gondola. Not sure what brand this one is. I'm not seeing it on here, but it's got some coal put into it. you know, it comes out of there. It wasn't stock on the car, but it's got that like realistic feel and look cool inside there. I remember putting that in there a long time ago. Coca-Cola tank car. I believe this one might be a Tyco. Yep, says it right there. Missing some parts, missing the ladder and the rail and everything. Paint's still in fairly nice shape on this one. It's the real thing. But needs some minor detail work, but perfectly fine to run it on the track as it is, if you don't care too much about the detail, which I know is important, but if you just want to run your trains, it would run just fine. Baby Ruth. Candy Company box car. It's an old one. Feels old anyway. It's probably a Tyco or something. I don't know. It doesn't really look like a Tyco, I guess. I'm not sure what brand this is. Another no name on the body. But feels and looks old. But it's got some nice detail. It's got all these little lines and divots going down. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but it's a very nice texture. And it's a cool car. This is another one that belongs to the Foodland train set I was telling you about. This is the Healthy Choice Gondola. Ooh, that one needs cleaned up a bit. That dust really shows up on that white paint that's on this car. It's plastic. Like I said, these are lifelike. Must have had a weight on there. Must have had some trouble with this one popping off the track or something. Which is usually why I ended up with those weights on there, and I think that's why everyone does. Or maybe that's not the best way. Maybe there's a better way to go about that, and I'm sure when I run it again, I'll find out what's going on with that. Another Baltimore and Ohio car from that particular set. The Tavern. We got the bar. Another one of those light up cars. Made by Tyco. Nice heavy piece. Nice detail. And another one. The coach car. Got some people in there. Got some things going on. They got places to be. Hopefully they get there. Southern Pacific. This one came from that original Model Power set I was talking about. I remember this one. Nice weight to it. Some good detail. Cool little car. Here's a Pennsylvania Railroad locomotive. This one is a lifelike. I remember buying this one. I bought this one brand new at a local hardware store that used to sell trains, and that place isn't even there anymore, sadly. But I remember I really wanted this one, and I'm sure the tender's in here somewhere. I just remember it wasn't ever really the smoothest running engine I had. I thought it would be pretty cool, but it was really touchy with tracks. You had to have tracks super clean, or this thing, I remember it just jerking a lot whenever it was running. But we'll have to fire it up and see what we can get it to do. It's got some nice detail. I like the front, the gate or whatever, the guard, the track guard or whatever you would call it. It's got like a unusable front coupler, but a realistic looking one. And I believe this one had an active headlight as well. And the tender hopefully should be in here somewhere. Oh, here's the one I was speaking of. The Foodland Anniversary Lifelike Locomotive. This was the 40th anniversary of the Foodland store chain, which in the Pittsburgh area, these used to be extremely common stores, and now there's only one that I know of. These came out in '98, the year I was born. And my grandma bought this train set brand new. They had it in the local Foodland store here in town. And she bought one. She used to set it up under her Christmas tree. I always loved it because, you know, I was in the trains at a young age, and eventually it became mine. Missing a front coupler. Back when, yeah, a little bit, not a whole lot of wiggle room there, but it seems alright. I shouldn't say wiggle room, but doesn't really, yeah, I guess it snaps back alright, but not too quick. At least on this one, all the rails, the guard rails are all still on there. I'm glad. I remember this locomotive worked pretty well. Lifelike stuff's always been pretty good to me, and I'll be excited to get this one fired up. If I remember right, this one is a little noisy, if I remember correctly, but it ran pretty well. And it's always fun getting all the brand name cars and everything hooked up to it, and it's a cool train set. Well, here's some of the cars that go to the Bachman car hauler. They've seen better days, but this one's in pretty decent shape. I remember it came with a whole bunch of these. Ooh, that one's got a smashed roof. Yeah, it's not. Oh wait, it's actually kind of all right. And maybe a little bit dented in. There's a couple more of them. And a station wagon. Part of a bridge, trestle, some old Atlas track. It's one of the re-railer pieces of the old Lifelike power lock track. It's a Lifelike Union Pacific locomotive. We can handle it. I remember getting this set. I don't really remember why I got this set, but it was just a Lifelike set I wanted, and I ended up getting it. I think it was just cheap price, but I remember I broke this one at one point. As far as I remembered, it still worked with the broken truck. It was, I don't even see it, but it's just this little plastic piece that was supposed to snap in that busted off of here somehow. I don't remember if I dropped it or drove it too fast around the track and it fell off the table or something like that, but I don't remember using this one too much. But it's got some cool detail on it. I'll have to see if we get it fired up and running, see how it does with the messed up truck. It's the tender for that Pennsylvania little locomotive I showed you. Good shape, Lifelike. Old Amtrak switcher. I remember getting this one. I bought this at a train show, and it was real early in the day. It was the first thing I got there that day, and you wouldn't believe what I paid. It says Plymouth on the front. I'm not sure. Let's see what brand this is. Made in, what does it say? Made in Yugoslavia. I'm really not sure what brand this might be. A-Test RSO GE35. I don't know. Do you know? Anyway, paid $2 for this early at a train show local in my area at one point, and I remember taking it home and it worked just fine. Can't pull a whole lot of cars, but it's a little switcher, you know. What do you want it to do? If you need it to move around some cars in the yard, it will do it. But this is a cold piece, nice and heavy. I don't remember if it lights up or not. I'm sure it looks like it looks like it's meant to, so we'll have to take a look at this one and see what we can get it to do. But I always really liked this particular one. It's always fun to see it zooming around the track. I remember it could pick up some speed when you were running it by itself or just with a few cars or something. But cool old piece, which I'd like to know more about. Old Cities Service tank car. This one's pretty cool. I bought this from a model railroad museum. I think they had some used stuff, and it's got a little bit of rust on it, but it's all metal. The ladders are metal, the guide rail. This is a real thick plastic. This is an old HO car. I'm not sure how old it is. Looks like someone has had some paint on the bottom, but it's even got metal trucks on it. I don't know how well you can tell in the video, but these trucks are metal. The wheels are plastic. I believe they've probably been replaced. But if you had some metal wheels on here too, I think that'd be pretty cool. I might do that if I ever get this thing running back on the track. But other than that, pretty decent condition. Like I said, it's actually rusting a bit, but if you're ever going for an old-fashioned look, you know, some old well-beaten trains, this one would be perfect for that role. And another Lifelike Blue Transformer Power Pack. Some other track pieces and things like that. Sandpaper. I believe this belongs to that mail pouch boxcar box. See if we can get that thing taped back on there or something. This one was kind of the odd one out of the Foodland set, Georgia Pacific, but it did come with that set. So this is the second to last piece of the Foodland train set. Georgia Pacific boxcar, Lifelike. I always thought it was a cool one. It's a shorter. It's not as tall as the other, like the Pepsi counterpart boxcar that was also included in that set. Is a completely different style of boxcar. So I thought that was cool that they gave you some different variety in the set. Looks like the wrapper came off of it, but some old MTH Proto Smoke Christmas scent. This would have came from my O-Scale stuff, which I'll have to make a video on as well. I've got a lot of old Lionel stuff and some not so old MTH stuff, but some stuff that I grew up with and I still set up around the Christmas time, but I don't really model much. And like I said, I haven't modeled much in a long time in general, but I always set up my MTH stuff and Lionel stuff as well around Christmas time. But the O-Scale, I mean the HO scale stuff and my N-Scale stuff haven't seen much use in quite a long time. And the last piece of the Foodland train set, Domino Sugar. Domino Sugar caboose, Lifelike. Pretty cool. Got some old little Pepsi cars and stuff. Not sure how to scale these would be, but just stuff. Some fencing. I think this is the last piece to that water tower, or maybe not the last piece, but the top of it anyway. Oh, one more piece for the Foodland train set. The Kellogg's car. Kellogg's hopper here. This was always one of my favorite ones. It's got a nice color to it, nice quality, and the big old Kellogg's logo right across the side. Soo line little mini hopper, or whatever you would call it. Not sure what brand this is. It says made in Australia on the bottom. Maybe I'm not sure who would have made this. Stuff. And I think we got one more car. Hooker. Chemicals and plastics. It's a lifelike. Well, that'll about do it for me for now. I know I've got plenty more HO scale stuff somewhere that I'll have to find that's boxed away that I want to get out and test some stuff and see what I can do with it. But that's it for now. Once again, I'd like to just show the Foodland set. I just think it's pretty cool. I got the Kellogg's car, Domino's Sugar Caboose, Georgia Pacific, Healthy Choice, the Foodland Locomotive, and the Pepsi box car, which has operating doors. Cool. Well, that'll do it for me for today. Tune in next time. I'm sure I'll get some videos up of my N scale stuff, which, like I said, I'm restoring the layout, which you can see back there if my camera would focus. But we'll be taking a closer look at that. I've already started the restoration process, but there's a lot more to do, and I'll show you some of my progress along the way and just some things about it in general. It's not the greatest layout in the world, but for something I made when I was in middle school, I think it's pretty cool, and there's time to make it better now. So that'll do it for me. Thanks for tuning in.